Yo, what is up, party people? Another video by your lovable yet unquestioning, unquestionable. You can't question me. I don't know what the fuck I'm trying to say. Well, thanks for tuning in for yet another one of my videos. And what am I on about this time? Well, let's talk about this idea that everybody has to be a winner and everybody has to hold hands and be equals. Like we all want to be equals. But towards the end of our lives, we realize how much of a mistake that turns out to be. And in the case of life, having kids, being successful at work, unfortunately, it is a very, I wouldn't say fierce, but it is a very woefully apparent competition. Like if you don't take the warnings to heart, take the reality of everything that you do in life, and yeah, just realize like how bad some people have it. Like in the case of I would go as far as to say that people who have parents that just don't care about their well-being any way, shape, or form, they just disregard them, and you get a lot of that nowadays. Like I thought my parents were, pretty dismissive. I think they were just like, trying to be funny, trying to make me like realize, you know, don't be too full of yourself. Don't, have your head up your ass, all that stuff, right? And now here we are talking about this topic. So I stand by my statement and sentiment that Intel TV is just playing, the hey, I'm here to help you game, you know what I mean? And there's nothing wrong with trying to help people. It's just whether or not you're genuinely capable of doing so. And in the case of him and his kind, he I don't really see him as like bad. I just see him as like, maybe these guys need genuine advice. Like I think probably the worst thing to happen to guys like this is if they what do you call it? Get advice from women. So that's like from the source, but then it's like the harsh reality check and like all that stuff. But it's like it's better if people are like harsh and like brutally realistic on their judgments versus, they sugarcoat it, or oh, just do this and then that will happen, or do this and this person will like you, or do this, right? Like I found out the hard way that people are stubborn, like you can't change the persona. You can't change the habits of somebody. It's just going against their I don't know, soul, their identity, whatever they want to attribute to their stubbornness. And let's be frank, right? Like we shouldn't be a society that does the following. We shouldn't be a society that like robs the cradle. We shouldn't be a society of the separation of genders. Like classically, I guess it was done because people were like really really young, and it grew up pretty fast. Like pretty like it wouldn't be out of the question for like my grandparents and my parents to be owning a house or like whatever, their apartment, whatever, in like their teenagers or like their early 20s and stuff. It wasn't out of the question back then. And nowadays, yeah, everybody's just like insulated. So I bring up Incel TV, aka Rehab Room, because he oftentimes comments about this other like packy Indian like I don't mean to like throw shade, but like I have to, man. Like some of these Indian dudes, they have like a fucking nose, and like this is why like I kind of like my having my dad's nose because whatever, even though it's not like, well, I don't look, it's not my mom's nose, but it's like it's not an Indian nose. It's not like whatever. It's just like this pointy whatever nose. But like it could get pretty Indian. When I say Indian, it could get wider. it could get more like, hooked parrot nose. It has that like point. A lot of them have that point where it goes straight down. Oh man, that's the worst, right? And I bring up his appearance because what he said really started to piss me off, because that's how I used to feel. I used to have friends who were, I don't know if they were self-proclaimed incels, but like, I kind of had the feeling that they weren't going to be that lucky in life. And I had like friends who were just like, the wrong types of people to be in relationships with women and etc. etc. Right? So Doctor, what is his name? Healthy Gamer CG or some shit like that. I don't know. Healthy Gamer Packy said, "Yo, we should not leave the incels behind." Oh fuck, hell yeah, we are. The fuck we will, man. The hell we will, dude. When you suffer firsthand at like how like jealous and how vindictive these motherfuckers are, and it doesn't like escape you. It extends to pretty much every single, like almost every single one of these motherfuckers. Because obviously there's going to be like people who are sensible, people who are like, you know what I mean, whatever. I already got married, already have my family and all that shit. I don't care how I fucking look or whatever. And like they're your age or slightly older and all that shit, right? I'm not talking about those people. I'm talking about the people like that short dude who went into that bagel shop and he like, blew up on the internet, and he's talking about like how people don't want to date him on the like dating websites. I'm talking about people like that. I'm talking about people who like have a very like immature like way of coping with their uh, insecurities, and more or less like they can't understand like everybody gets rejected, right? And whether or not like they're using, oh you're too short, or oh you're too this, like a lot of times people will use that as like, a reason as to why they don't like you. So they can just like look at you and not like trust you, or they don't look at you and they're not like, attracted to you, but then they'll say, oh no, you're just too short. Oh no, you know what I mean? Like rather than say, oh you're too ugly. Like people aren't like willing to go. Some are though, god bless them. But like most people are more likely to let people down very very easily, and I've experienced that firsthand. And um I'm not proud of it, you know I'm not proud of it. I did it too. And I'm bringing this up because no, you shouldn't let everybody win. You shouldn't like bring the incels with you and this and that, and like and the comedian was right. She said that like this is a way of showing you that you shouldn't be passing on your genes. You shouldn't be this, you shouldn't be that. And whether or not it's true, like the more I began to think about it, um the whole idea of having hair versus being bald, and like being tall versus being short, and then like being strong versus being unhealthy, whether it's like you're too skinny, you're too fat, or whatever, right? Like even girls hate like the idea of you using steroids because they want you around for function, right? Like they need you to clean, they need you to help take care of the kids, they need you to help run errands for them, they need you to help them when they're doing like their shopping and all that stuff. And like this idea that you're going to expire prematurely, like is, I mean, some girls will stand by their men no matter what, but the idea that like these fake men, right? And I had to come out with this video because I didn't address it in my last video, because I just want to focus on like that specific topic of like Indonesia and like the whole, yeah, unfortunate reality of their situation. But like we have visual confirmation. Visual confirmation, I like that word. Visual confirmation that The Rock has used steroids. To nobody, like honestly, who's surprised? Who is honestly surprised? Like, I know some people must be like shocked and stuff, right? They're like, oh my god, I know this guy, he's such a hard worker, or he's like, he has like the best personality, or he's so like kind hearted, like how could he be like a man who takes shortcuts? he seemed like he had such like a good work ethic and all that shit, right? But that like people don't understand this about steroids, right? Um, if I were to like make a similarity, like the first time I was taking like these crazy ass pre-workout, and this was before the whole FDA and this and that, and like just we didn't really have things regulated here in Canada at that time, at least early on. I remember I had this one protein shake. It was literally like a fat burner protein shake, and it worked so goddamn well. I still can't believe. Not only did it work so well, but I still can't believe like I'm telling you, I'm pissed. I was losing so much weight with it, but like yo, it's unhealthy though. I was like losing weight and I'm like, dehydrating and like, passing out and shit. I can't dance. Gotta go for another cigarette. I'm like falling against the wall and stuff. But yeah, man, like visual confirmation that The Rock has done with these steroids is sad to watch, but not out of the ordinary. And it's kind of humbling actually, because it's like you take a look at like normal guys who've been working out their whole lives and they don't see like not even a quarter of the results that The Rock gets, and it just becomes woefully apparent like what is strength, and it isn't like this idea that you have like gigantic ass muscles that are nothing more than functionally like wells for your chemicals to like be pumped into. So you might be able to like lift these heavy objects and like make all these micro tears and like whatever, but then as like the blood floods into it, also the chemicals, whatever, testosterone, HGH, growth hormone, all these things, that's what becomes your body. And that's why I think The Rock looks that way, and that's why I think Liver King looks that way. That's why what's his name, Hussein Farhat, like all these guys, like it's over for them. Like it's over for the entire fitness industry now, because I guess, right. It's funny too that like both him and Jason Statham have this like a thing in the contract where like if they're starring in movies like they can't lose or some shit like that, some dumbass shit. And it's just like, wait, what? It's a fucking movie. Like you could just say no. You could read the script and say no, you idiot. Oh my god. In this scene you have to lose. No! The Rock never loses. I'm invincible. And what was he again? Black Adam? Fucking oh man. God damn, dude. Because it's like the difference is insane. Insane. Like, okay, my dad, he's like a pretty, strong guy, but like, he's old, right? And he has this like, look to him where, he just has that, hanging skin and this and that. And that's basically how The Rock looks. Like a younger version of my dad. Like, I think he still has his hair dyed, like dark brown or black or whatever is like, not non-senior citizen color. It's so pathetic how these people just can't fucking age with grace. They have to like drag their feet. But I can understand. Well, coming from like Rock's point of view, he's not exactly the strongest actor. Like, he's not known for his like charisma and like stage presence. So he just had to like be eye candy for girls, and that's why he did it. And like that's why the noose gets tighter. The more you pull it, the tighter it gets, because as high and as much money, like as high he was riding on like all that success and as much money as he made, like and as much fame as he got, like it will never undo the damage that he's done to himself. Not only by like the whole like whatever, right, taking whatever, but also like the lies. Oh my god, the fitness programs. It takes me back too to like Liver King, where he would just get people to eat like bull testicles or whatever the fuck, and it's just like, yeah, man, this kind of sus behavior, my guy. But like people see that's like the desperation of people. They see muscles, they see a guy talking like this, oh, monster trucks, oh, football, oh, manliness. Go outside with an axe and camp. Then you fish and you throw a spear at a deer. The fuck? And then you find out like he's fucking lying. He's taking like $10,000 worth of fucking drugs every month to look the way he does. And I remember too how like his body started melting, and then like you see his abs, like they weren't at implants. Like what happened was he just basically enhanced himself so much that his muscles and his like, because you technically, the only way you're gonna be showing your abs off, like in real life, unless like you have some sort of genetic, whatever, like your muscles there are significantly bigger than they should be or whatever. Um, like most of the time, if people see their abs at low fat body percentages, and when you see Liver King, and obviously he's not, he's not healthy, he's not natural, he's not whatever, and you just see, oh, I remember this one where he's doing this like hanging exercise and these two cables, and he's just hanging off of it, and he's trying to show off his abs, but his abs are just like, it's melted, it's completely gone. It's like the whole distended gut thing all over again. GH, testosterone, all this shit, man, all this shit. And for what? For what? Even worse yet was the widening of the face. You know what I mean? Like when the cheekbones are just pointing the fuck out, and like what would that be? Southeast and southwest, the directions and the like these compasses. It's like pointing outwards, like pointing to the southeast and southwest directions. When he smiles or he's talking to you and shit. Yeah, man. And the tighter they pull that noose, oh my goodness. But like, and that's just like one aspect of it. We have to talk about the biggest and most dangerous elephant in the entire room is like pretending that like every single guy out there needs to be getting down with a girl, starting a family, having kids. No, 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 healthy gamer, Packy. No, you dumb Packy. He made this video 2 days ago, by the way. He's probably not going to see my video, but like in the case that he does, right? You dumb Packy. No, okay. You don't want these guys to reproduce. You don't want these guys to be with women. In fact, I'm going to take it a step further. Ladies and gentlemen, I have let you down. If you thought you came here for a man with like, a good moral compass and integrity, I don't know what to tell you. Like, you probably looked at the picture and probably, assumed that, like, this guy, he's just gonna let me down one day, whatever. And to that, I say, well, it depends on your perspective, right? If you think that I let you down by telling you the absolute brutal truth, where you're not gonna like what I have to say, but it also has relevance, like I have to say it, and yeah, just come out with it. Okay. Some girls, okay, not all girls. Some girls are better off, you know, without, a bad man in their life, right? Because they can't find a good man, or the good man was taken by somebody else, or like, whatever reason that they can come up with, like they're better off alone. Unfortunately, it's not my place to say who is or who isn't. I'm just saying that, like, in the case that, oh, she's not being with somebody, she hasn't like dated or whatever in so long, right? Like in that instance, maybe like really think long and hard before you think that being with somebody is the solution, because obviously if that were the case, like, we wouldn't be having these problems. Divorce, spousal abuse, this and that, right? Now, what I'm gonna say is going to piss a lot of people off, but some people live the shadow of existence, and I think I'm one of them. Like, I didn't want to be something other than like a romantic partner to my spouse and fall in love normally this and that organically, and you know, maintain, right? Like, maintain my family, maintain my love and trust with her, and like, have her like, feel the embellishment of my affection and this and that, right? And I unfortunately came to the conclusion that it is selfish. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I'm gonna say it. I think it is selfish for certain guys, right? And honestly, here's how I think about it, right? I am 40 years old, born June 20th, 1985, and I don't make the rules. Okay, I don't like. Sometimes I really don't like the way I look, in the sense that I get really bad like skin rashes, marks, pimples, blackheads, right? Just the bad things. But overall, my skin, like wrinkle wise, youth looking wise, like recently I went to a smoke shop to get some rolling papers and a lighter, and the store clerk, who was, I can tell that he was younger than me. Well, he's from the United Kingdom and stuff. He ID'd me, and it was the most surreal experience of my entire life, because yes, I do tend to look a little bit younger, and yeah, I do wear like, lipstick, nail polish, you know, I am like a young-ish looking person, but not like I don't feel like my voice is young. I don't feel like my eyes, my anything is young. Like I just don't feel like it is. But that's not up to me, right? Like I was saying this in the last video, like men serve function and women serve purpose, right? And the dire situation all around the world, all these conflicts, like they're actually, and I'm big ups to Japan, by the way. They are, they kind of see ahead of the curve. Although I did see another video where they're thinking about bringing in the Indians. I mean, why do they keep doing this, man? But whatever. Anyways, like they're having an anti-immigration, protest. Uh, totally for that, man. Japan for the Japanese people, and it's so like, easily swayed. Like, how come we don't have the amount of tourism and immigration into China that we do into Japan? Like, yeah, you could argue Japan's a better country, better freedoms, whatever, right? Better video games, but no, like there isn't enough land in Japan. There isn't enough, you know, place for these, outsiders who very much want to close themselves off from the Japanese people or influence them in nefarious ways. And it's not for me to say what's good for people and what's not good for people. It's just, my concern, right? The whole world is finding out. Like, I find that, like, even with, like, take for example the Sikhs, right? The more they try to, like, appear innocent, or like, avoid judgment for the whole trucking scam and all the other scams that they do, employment scams, all that stuff, it's all coming out. And the more they try to, like, act tough or whatever, the tighter the noose gets until they can't pull it anymore because their head's falling off.